everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I'm really excited to do. This is by popular demand. I'm going to be ranking all of the foundations that I tried throughout the year of 2019. So recently I posted a video ranking all of the eyeshadow palettes that I tried in 2019. There was 43 palettes in that video. I will link it down below, but I got multiple requests on that one to also rank all of the foundations that I tried throughout the year. And those comments either had a lot of thumbs up or they had a lot of comments commenting on it, also asking, does that make sense? Commenting on it, to rank all of my foundations. So I decided to go ahead and take on the challenge. I have 22 foundations here. I'm gonna rank them from my least favorite to my top favorite. So if that sounds like fun to you, why don't we go ahead and get started? All right, so I do have drugstore in here and also high-end or luxury. I definitely do have more high-end foundations to review. So if that's like really your sweet spot, then you might enjoy this video. If you really do prefer drugstore, like I said, I do have a few drugstore foundations in here also, but I did want to say that I will link out all of these foundations as well if there's anything that you might be interested in. And I do have a ranking series on my channel. I can link my playlist down below, and I have done quite a few ranking new foundations throughout the year of 2019, but I was really seeing the request to rank all of them together because there was a few times that I would say in my reviews, you know, I did rank this one higher than this one, but I think if they would have been in two separate ranking videos, I would have ranked this one number one and this one number one. So that's why I was getting so many requests to really put them all together and then rank them. So I have, like I said, 22 here, and kind of how I started it, just like what I did with my eyeshadow palettes, I have kind of like my category of my least favorite, then we have kind of the middle category, I like these ones but I don't love them, and then I have a top 9 for this one. And then my lowest ranked foundations, I've actually decluttered all of these. So I'll go ahead and put some photos on the screen of these foundations that I ranked in the lower category. But starting off at number 22, this one is from Rimmel. This is the Stay Matte Foundation. This retails for around $5 or $6 depending on where it is that you're getting it. I actually did mention this one in my worst of beauty for 2019. So I can link that one down below. But when it comes to foundations, we definitely all have our different preferences. I mean, that's just makeup in general, with eyeshadow palettes too. It just kind of depends on what our makeup preferences are. I tend to prefer something that has a medium or medium buildable coverage, and I also really like a natural finish foundation. I lean more on the side of something that's more of a satin or a luminous finish versus I do like a really mattifying foundation. So you're definitely going to see those preferences come into play when it comes to ranking my foundations, because I'm ranking these based on my preference and I'm ranking them on how much I use these foundations. So I wanted to say that. But the Rimmel, I just didn't like this one because it was very thick. It was more full coverage. It was definitely more of a matte foundation. But again, it was just such a thick foundation. It came in a squeeze tube. It was really hard to blend onto my face. It was really hard to make it look natural. I just wasn't a fan of that one. Coming in at number 21, I have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Stick Foundation. This retails for about $6. I'm also not a huge stick foundation lover. I've tried quite a few in the past, even a lot that have been really, really hyped up stick foundations, and I tend to just not really gravitate towards them. I don't know if it's something about kind of like pulling on my skin. I used to have very, very dry skin. I have pretty dehydrated skin at the moment. I live in Iowa. It is freezing. It is so cold outside. It is snowing right now. And you know, I can definitely feel that the skin on my face. My hands are so dry. I put lotion on so many times a day and it's just so hard. But I feel like with a stick foundation, kind of just that dragging motion, I didn't really love. I didn't mind the way that this one looked. It was a little bit on the natural side, but I also don't feel like it was very long wearing. I just don't feel like it stayed put very well throughout the day and it broke up quicker. So that's coming in at number 21. At number 20 is a foundation that I'm still a little bit confused about. This is from IT Cosmetics. This was the Confidence in a Foundation. This did retail for around $32. This one actually got discontinued fairly shortly after it was released. And I mean, it's still like, a PR went out and then, you know, it was available for the public and you know, people were buying it and all of that. And then all of a sudden, just a couple months later, it was gone. You couldn't find it anymore. And it said that IT Cosmetics was no longer offering it because it was off brand or something like that was the quote, which was kind of bizarre. I don't really know what happened there. I don't know what happened. I had one of my friends who's also a beauty blogger. She got a bunch of shades sent to her in PR, so she sent me one of them to try, which I was really excited about. And my first thoughts was kind of like, oh, I really do like this foundation, but I can remember the first time trying it and feeling like I did enjoy the foundation, but after I tried it for several more uses, it was one of those just, it almost felt like just too much like foundation on my skin. It kind of always looked like I was wearing a lot of makeup. I don't want to go as far as to say like it was really mask-like, but this one was supposed to be more of a velvety matte finish, and I really just saw it to be a matte finish. My dog has joined me if you can hear her walking around. And again, preference wise, it just wasn't really for me, and I just felt it was too heavy on my skin, and now it's no longer available to buy, so that's kind of odd. Coming in at number 19, I have from Becca Cosmetics. This is the Aqua Luminous foundation. This one retails for $44. When I first started trying this one, and this was like at the beginning of 2019, I thought this was going to be one of my new favorite foundations, and I spoke about it really highly towards the beginning of the year. And then as I was trying it more, and also as my skin was kind of changing from like super dry to maybe a little bit more combo, or sometimes with dehydrated skin, you're still dry, but you're actually starting to overproduce oil, so it can be like a whole other matter to try to work out. But I feel like as I noticed that, I wasn't loving the foundation as much anymore because it almost appeared too luminous on me, and it also, I felt like it didn't last the longest either. I do tend to prefer more long wearing foundations. You know, if I do my makeup in the morning, I really want it to last for a long time. So when foundations break up so easily on me, and I feel like it's something about the complexion, if your complexion isn't looking the best, and especially if you're around other people, it's just so noticeable right away to notice that. So for that reason, I ended up decluttering the Becca Aqua Luminous. I still want to try the concealer actually from that line because I hear good things about it, but there's that. At number 18, I have from Laura Mercier. This was the Flawless Lumiere Radiance foundation or something along those lines. This ran for $48. I purchased this one because I was hearing some pretty positive reviews about it, and I remember just like being in the mood. I hadn't tried a new foundation in a while. This was, you know, several months ago. This was before like the foundation craze happened in the beauty industry and every brand was coming out with a new foundation. But I tried it and it ended up not being a favorite. I decluttered it in my most recent foundation declutter, which was a while ago. I'm planning to start a new declutter series. I was trying to get through all the ranking videos first. I was actually planning to rank all of the foundations in my collection, but then I thought we could do the 2019. So I am starting a declutter series soon, which I'm really looking forward to. But I ended up decluttering it because, again, I didn't feel like it lasted the best on me, and I felt, I'm pretty sure the words I used was that I didn't feel like this one faded away very gracefully on the skin. It would kind of show and break up and just not look the best when it started to fade away, which I didn't love. But again, coverage wise on it, you know, I thought it was nice, but it was one of those that I just wasn't reaching for enough anymore, and that's why I ended up decluttering it out of my collection. Okay, so those are kind of my bottom foundations, and those are the ones that I have decluttered, and then I'm going to go ahead and move into this middle, like I like it but I'm not losing my mind over it category. So coming in at number 17, I have this one from Juvia's Place. This is the I Am Magic Velvety Matte Foundation. This one retails for $20. This was one when I first saw it, I immediately thought of that Rimmel Stay Matte because packaging wise it reminded me of it, and it's more of the squeeze tube and it's supposed to be more of that velvety matte finish. I was like, if this is like the Rimmel, I'm gonna be so angry. But it's not. Again, still when it comes to my personal preference with foundations, I really can't rank this much higher because it definitely is more of a matte finish. You get a little bit more full coverage with it, which that's definitely not a bad thing. I know a lot of people really do love full coverage. I kind of always really been right in that medium area when it comes to foundations. It lasts a decent amount of time on the skin, but because of my preferences, again, that's why it's ranked a little bit lower, but still in the I like it category. And then at 16, I have this one from Elcie Cosmetics. This is the Micro Silque foundation, and this one is $45. I picked this up from Ulta Beauty when Elcie Cosmetics came into Ulta, and I grabbed a few things from them. I was very curious to try them out. I will try to also, when I link everything, I will try to put the shade that I am in the foundation if that helps. It's going to be a little bit tough for me with the foundations that I have decluttered, but I will do my best, or I'll look back and if I've mentioned them in the video, I'll put my shade in there. I don't know, I don't know if that's helpful to everyone, but a lot of times I do get asked, so if I remember, I try to put shades in my description box also. So I will try to do that to try to keep this moving along. I know my ranking eyeshadow palettes was so long, and this one we still have 22 foundations to get through. And the thing is I've pretty much reviewed, I think I have reviewed all of these foundations that I'm talking about, so I'm trying to get through them quicker and just rank them and give my, kind of top pros and cons. But for the Elcie Micro Silque foundation, again, this was one that I was like, I like it, but I could kind of tell right away that I wasn't going to absolutely lose my mind over it. It's more of a medium coverage on this one. It has a bit more of that luminous look to it, but biggest con with this one is I didn't think it was the most long wearing. I actually ended up liking the primer that I picked up too from this brand, even more than I did like the foundation. So I just don't reach for it very often. I like the bottle and everything. I think that's super cute, but for the actual foundation, just didn't absolutely fall in love with it. And then at 15, I have this one here from Cover FX. This is another one that I tried way at the beginning of 2019. This is their Power Play foundation, and this costs $44. So again, this one is more in the squeeze tube, and this is kind of one of those foundations that I'm like, I like it. I really don't have a lot of negatives to say. I really don't have a lot of like glowing positives. Like, I think it's a good foundation. It's more of a medium coverage. I like the natural finish to it, but it's just something about this foundation. I almost feel like it's been hard for me to review this one because it's like, I like it, it's good. That's all I got. At 14, I have this one here from Urban Decay. This is their Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation, and this runs for $39. So this was, this kind of came out when a lot of brands were releasing new foundations, but it was a little bit on the earlier side. I actually mentioned this foundation in a video I did recently called Makeup I Got Bored Of, and it was because it was like right after Urban Decay came out with this one, a bunch of other brands released foundations, and a lot of them that came out that I tried were more of my preference. This one here, it has nice coverage to it, but it does lean more on the matte side. So I started to not use this one as much, even though when I first tried it, I was like, this is a really nice foundation. I think that it looks really good. Like, will it be a new favorite of mine? Probably not, but I still think it's a really nice one. And then so many other ones that I just love more for me came out, so I kind of stopped wearing this one as much. Again, if you like, more of a matte foundation, if that's what you look for, I still think that you would really like this one. Again, preference-wise, I'm going to probably keep saying that, but preference-wise, that's why it landed where it did. And then one of my girlfriends, yes, at number 13, we have from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I was really, really excited to try this one, and I remember I was planning to buy it myself. I had it flagged on my loves list at Sephora. I was just waiting for it to actually become available, and then Charlotte sent this over, and I mean, obviously she did because like we're friends, and she let me know on what's it called, Slack? Is that like your workspace chat that you can do? She let me know that it was coming, and I was super excited about it, but it ended up not being a favorite of mine. Once again, I don't think that this is a bad foundation, and I think if this falls into the preferences that you really enjoy and that you really look for, I think that you would like it. This one runs for $44, and again, like really nice packaging on it, nice bottle, you have this pump and everything. It's just a little bit more matte than I tend to prefer, and it's almost, again too, it's just a little bit, I want to use the word heavier, but it's more full coverage and a more mattifying finish, which is just not my preferences. I do really like the Light Wonder from Charlotte Tilbury. I think is really nice. Even the Magic Foundation I think is beautiful. The Wonder Glow Primer is one of my favorites, but with this one just ended up not being a total favorite of mine. Next up, I have one from Dose of Colors. So this is coming in at number 12. This is the Meet Your Hue foundation. This one runs for, this is so funny, this one I believe is $36, but looking at my list, right in the middle here, starting from Charlotte and then for the next 4 foundations, I moved them so much. Like, I was trying to get the perfect order, and so like some of the prices I'm like, wait, what did I say that one was? But this one here from Dose of Colors, I was really excited to try it out. I like a lot from Dose of Colors, so when I saw they were releasing a foundation, I was like, definitely want to try this one out. And again, I do like it, but it's not something that I reach for a ton. Again, it's nice coverage. I mean, I'm kind of getting to the point where it's like, I don't really know what else I can say about a lot of these foundations. It's nice coverage. It says that it's a medium to full, which I would agree with there. And again, it's nice. It's kind of almost like the Cover FX. I don't have a lot of negative to say, but I don't have like overly positive things to say either based on my preferences, but it's still a nice foundation. I still like it, and I still reach for it. I will say this shade match is not the best for me, and maybe you can see when I hold it up. It's not the absolute best, and I think that plays more into me not grabbing for it as much, but I chose my shade on 9. I did the best that I could. And then at number 11, I can barely read my handwriting over in this section, but it looks like this one is going to my other girlfriend. This is Natasha Denona, the Foundation X Plus. So this retails for $45, I think is what I'm trying to say. This one is actually in my current Shop My Stash bag from December, where I pull out products and I try to use them really consistently throughout the month. And I've actually ended up, I think especially because having it in that bag and using it really consistently, I like it even more than when I first tried it and I did a wear test on it and like a first impression. I really liked it. Then I was like, I'm not really sure. It is very full coverage. I don't know. And then I'm kind of back to like, no, I actually really do like this foundation. I think that it's really nice. Again, it is definitely more full coverage. If that's your thing, I think that you would really like this one. But it has more of a natural finish to me, which I really do appreciate. I have found myself reaching for it a little bit more going to like events, or if I'm going to be gone the entire day, even just to like family things and such. But I want more coverage, especially with like breakouts or redness. I think this is a really nice option, and the wear time on it is really, really good. I mean, that's what gives this one quite a bit of a plus too, is I think that wear time on it is really solid. And then next up, this is the last one in kind of my middle category. This is from Kevyn Aucoin, and this is the Foundation Balm. This runs for $52. You do also get a small brush with it, but I didn't really like the brush, and I like to apply this with a damp sponge because it is a balm. So instead of being a liquid foundation like I have been chatting about, you just almost kind of have to apply it a little bit differently, and I think that it works best with a sponge. But I like it. It's almost one of those foundations that I feel like it's kind of easy to manipulate with, not only with primers, but also how you apply it and how much product you're using. You really only need a small amount and you'll get really beautiful medium coverage, but you can build it up and have very full coverage, especially if you do use a brush and you use the brush that comes with it. You can get full coverage in a snap for sure. A little bit more mattifying on the skin. It's kind of like a natural matte, but it does lean matte, especially throughout the day. I think that it does, you know, continue to get more matte as time goes on. So again, preference wise, that's why I decided to put it in the middle category, but I actually do like it. It was kind of one that surprised me a little bit. I wasn't sure how well I would get on with it, but I was pleasantly surprised. So those are for the foundations in my middle category, and why don't we go ahead and move on to my top 9. All right, coming in at number 9, I have this one from Dior. This is the Backstage Face and Body. This runs for $40. I did mention this also in my Best of Beauty of 2019. I tried to only choose 5 foundations, and you're gonna see the other ones mentioned closer to like my top picks. The reason I decided to rank this one a little bit higher compared to the other ones is because I really do enjoy this foundation specifically during the warmer months, because it is a light to medium coverage foundation. And again, I do like more medium, but I wanted to mention it in my Best of Beauty because I still really enjoy this foundation. And I think if I didn't do a Best of Beauty, like if I did a Best of Beauty in the middle of the year, I would like 100% for sure mention this one. But just because you do the Best of videos, you know, when it's really cold where I am in winter and all of that, I was like, just because I'm not reaching for this one a ton doesn't mean that I don't want to show it love, because I think that it's a really great foundation. So again, it's more of that light to medium coverage, but especially when I just want a little bit something, but I also want more than a tinted moisturizer or something along those lines. This was a really great option. I mean, I used this so much in the summer. I took this on so many different vacations with me as well, or when we were doing some traveling out of Iowa and all of that. And I really do think that it's very beautiful. So wanted to mention that one. And then at number 8, I have this one from, not this one, wrong. This one from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Luminous foundation. This one retails for $38. So this was when a bunch of brands were coming out with foundations, but I was really curious to try the one from Anastasia. It took me a couple tries to get my correct shade. I purchased one from Ulta and it was really hideously wrong on me. And I ended up finally eventually finding my correct one in 220N, and I think I did a great job. I actually went in store and I was swatching, and I'm really happy with my shade match on this one now. I think that it's a nice foundation, medium buildable. It definitely gives more of a luminous finish. When I can imagine when I was so dry. I would love this one. Now that my skin has changed a little bit and I do have times where after a few hours my oils come through a little bit quicker, it's better if I am just more aware of what primer I'm using and that I'm making sure that I powder my face. I still really like this one. I thought it was really nice. And at number 7, I have the one from Fenty Beauty. This is the Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation. I was also really excited to try this one. Fenty actually sent this to me, that was a pretty big deal. It was the first time I was receiving any products from Fenty and I was so excited about it. So this one is $35. I really like this one because it's definitely very natural. Again, just like natural finish foundations just kind of have my heart, and that's what I feel like this one is. Again, you get really nice medium coverage on it. You can build it up a bit, but again, I really like the finish to it. I just think every time I wear it, I just think my skin looks really nice, and it's kind of one of those, like, it's not a fussy foundation. I don't have to be really aware of primers or powders or any of that. Like, it just wears really easily, and I think the wear time on it is really nice too, and on the Anastasia, I think the wear times are both really nice. At number 6, I have this one from Revlon. This is their Photo Ready Candid Foundation. This one runs for about $6, again, kind of depending on where it is that you're finding it. I did also do a Best of Beauty kind of like drugstore edition, and this foundation made it in there. I think this is so nice. This is one of those products that I actually got sent in PR from Revlon, and then I went out because I got sent some lighter shades, which was fine for the time that I was trying it out, because I think it was actually in like January, February of 2019. But when we got to the summer, I wanted to keep wearing this foundation, but I didn't have a summer shade anymore, and I went out and bought my own because I was like, this is a really nice foundation. It's drugstore, it's more affordable. I got mine at Target. I thought it was great, and I really like this one. Very natural finish again, and kind of like what I was saying with the Fenty, it's just kind of one of those fuss-free foundations. It's really easy to throw into a travel bag, into an on-the-go makeup bag. It's just really easy to work with, and I think this is a really nice foundation. Getting into the top five. I have the one that I'm wearing today. This is from Pure. This is the 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie. This is $36, and I'm a big fan of this foundation. Again, it is the one that I have on today. This is one of those foundations that does lean a little bit more on the matte side, but I just really like it. Whenever I wear this one, I look at myself and I think, dang girl, you looking good today. So I keep reaching for it. I just continue to keep wearing it, and I mean, I don't know, I've reviewed it on my channel and I've reviewed it recently. I've put it in my Best of Beauty video. I think that it's a great foundation. And then at number 4, this one is from L'Oreal. This is the Infallible Fresh Wear. Again, this was mentioned in my Best of Beauty drugstore edition. This one is a little bit higher price actually. I found it at Ulta Beauty for $14.99, but really nice foundation. Very long wearing, very natural on the skin, more medium. You can get full coverage out of this one too, but I just think it makes the skin just look very flawless, very put together. I'm a big fan of this one also, and it's a little bit more affordable, which is fantastic. At number 3, I have from Wander Beauty. I know I've gotten some comments of people like really being curious about specific foundations and where they would land in my ranking, and I know a lot of people have really wondered, where does the Wander Beauty stack up against this foundation or that foundation? So coming in at number 3, I have from Wander Beauty. This is the Nude Illusion Liquid Foundation. I am almost out of this foundation, and I don't run out of foundations a lot. This is, I mean, throughout the majority of the year of 2019, this was the foundation I traveled with the most. It is kind of nice. Like, glass bottles are beautiful and they're nice to look at and they feel fancy, and especially if you're paying a higher price tag, you almost kind of want that luxury feel. But when it comes to, you know, being on the go, which again, if I mentioned, you know, if I go out of town a lot or if I am able to travel, it's kind of scary to put, especially a more expensive glass foundation bottle, especially if you know that you are checking a bag or something like that. So I would just take this one with me so often, and it's just beautiful. It's medium coverage. It's a wonderful natural finish on the skin. It's like your skin but better type of foundation, and I enjoy this one so much. This one runs for $40. I'm a big fan of it. I've recommended it most of the year now. And then at number 2, this honestly was so hard. 1, 2, and 3 were so hard, but at number 2, this is from Shiseido. This is the Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. This is $47. I am shocked at how much I like this foundation. I didn't see it coming. Honestly, kind of some of the claims of the self-refreshing, it just was kind of curious. It was great marketing. It drew me in. I was like, I don't know, let's see what this is all about. And I mean, truly, especially these top three, these are my most worn foundations. I go for the Shiseido a lot. This is a very natural finish, but it does lean matte. And the only reason that I'm putting it at number 2 is because some days I don't want to look as matte as this foundation can have me. I want a little bit more of a like radiant type of finish, which is what my number 1 is, but it is beautiful. It's supposed to have technology in there to help match your skin, and I truly believe this is one of the best foundation matches that I've ever gotten. I did it online, you know, I just was guessing, looking at the different swatches and the different, you know, details of what the foundation would be like, and I think it's great. I mean, I highly, highly recommend this foundation. And if you guys keep up with my channel and you're like, I feel like there's one foundation missing and I feel like it's from one of your girlfriends, Sam, where is that one? Yeah, it is. It's the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Foundation. I, in a million years, did not expect to love this foundation as much as I do. I truly did not think that I would love this foundation, but I do just love this foundation. To get it to film this video, I had to get it out of my on-the-go makeup bag because the last time that I went to visit friends, this is the foundation that I took with me. It is in a glass bottle, but I am traveling to Vegas. I think this video is actually going to go up after I'm back, so I'm pre-filming pretty far in advance, but I think scheduling wise, that's how it's going to go. And I'm planning to bring this one because I also think that it holds up so incredibly well. The first time I reviewed this one, I told the story of how I went in a hot tub wearing this foundation. I didn't like dunk my face in a hot tub or anything wild and crazy like that, but I was sitting in the hot tub with you know, the steam and everything, and I thought I was going to look a mess, and it looked great. I mean, it just wears so well. I love the finish on it. I love that it's nice and medium. Again, it's one of those foundations that's easy to wear. I don't feel like it's gonna play me. It is very expensive. If I haven't mentioned the price yet, it's probably because I want to like crawl in a hole when I say the price, but it's $68, which is super pricey. I still would recommend getting this one on sale. Even though I love it, and even though I'm ranking it at number 1, that's very pricey for a foundation. And unless you're like a high-end luxury lover and that's what you can do, then that's great. If you're someone like me who does, you know, pay attention to the price tags a little bit more, you know, a Sephora sale, or if Pat McGrath is having a sale, or, you know, anything like that, if she slides me an affiliate code or anything like that, I'm just kidding. But, you know, but it's my favorite. Again, it was so close. It honestly was so close between the Pat McGrath and the Shiseido, and I really wanted to choose the Shiseido because it is less expensive. But if I did like more mattifying foundations, I think this would be number 1. So again, it's just gonna depend on your preference, because these are both natural. This leans matte, this leans more of that kind of like radiant or satin finish, and I just think it's beautiful. Wear time, I'm so impressed with this one. So that is it. That is me ranking the 22 foundations that I tried throughout 2019. Please do let me know your thoughts on this one. I'd love to hear your comments down below. What were some of your favorite foundations that you tried throughout 2019? I hope that you're enjoying the ranking videos. Thank you to everyone who suggested that I do ranking all of my foundations throughout the year. I hope that you liked it. If there's any other videos that you want to see from me, please do just leave them in the comments. And I always find that so helpful, because this was not one that I had on my radar. Again, I was just going to do ranking my foundation collection, but I hope you enjoyed seeing this style. That is it though. If you guys did enjoy this video, I hope that you will give it a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.